Welcome back, everybody. This is Jason Seekers. We are going to have another fun little time doing an Illustrator tutorial. We're going to do a little fun little donut man. Carbs are friends, and we're going to get right into it. So if this is the first time visiting our channel, we go nice and slow so you can follow along. So we're just going to go File, New. I'm going to go 5 by 5. Pretty much all of the tutorials will always keep in that format. Everything else is default. I am using CMYK, just so you're aware. Next, I am just going to hide my artboards. I just do that for the sake of the video. So if you guys like seeing your format or the actual size, feel free to do so. Next, we're going to go File, Place. In the description, in our notes, you will notice that we do have our Carbs Are Friends, as long as I can find it. So you will notice in our description, we do have a line work that you guys can follow along with. So I will scale this one. I'm going to go black arrow. I'm going to go Shift Alt. Alright, looks good. So I have this selected. Notice I did place that image, by the way. Next, I'm going to go into my layers menu. And I'm going to drop down and say template. Now, little things that are going to be a little bit different with this one is we still have this one. Basically, I built this for kind of a t-shirt design with no intention of coming back and doing a video for it. And then I liked them so much, I thought I'd share it with you guys. So that's kind of how this came about. But I already expanded all the lines, so I don't have the original anymore. So shame, 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 right? You should have duplicated the layers like you normally tell us to do. So what we're going to do is create a new layer, and we're going to basically ignore a lot of this background for right now, and let's just kind of deal with most of the simple stuff. Now, the head, that's going to look more complicated than it is. Most of it is just circles for right now. So some of you guys are actually going to like this one because we're dealing with circles. So it's not nearly as much of the pen tool as normal. So I am going to hide. I do not want to fill. Next, let's just kind of see where we're at. And I'm going to make this a little bit thicker. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to unlock this. And I'm going to come over to transparency. I'm going to drop it down just so we don't get confused. Okay, that looks good. So whenever you template things out, if you don't think, hey, this is still going to be confusing to me, you can always change the opacity and then just lock it out. So keep in mind, some of you might have already figured out that you do not need to do the template. You could just do transparency and then lock out that layer, and it'll pretty much do the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I want to scale that so it gets layer 1. Okay, good. Next, we're going to go Control-C, Control-F. We just pasted a new one, by the way. And I'm just going to take that one and pull it out to kind of that outside edge. Okay, looking good. Now, more than likely, we'll come back and snip a few things here and there, but let's just keep moving. Control-C, Control-F, and all we're doing is just copying and pasting in front. Circles. That is all we are doing right now. Shift Option. Alright, that's going to be this outside. Control-C, Control-F. And I'm just going to do that for right now, and it does look like I can still see a little bit more, so let's just pull that up. Alright, I say we're good, so let's do a little zoom in right now. And let's just go C. C is our scissors, by the way. Snip, snip. Get rid of that. If there's overages, it doesn't matter right now. We'll come back and clean stuff up later. Just snip. As long as there are things, we're not dealing with a crazy amount of stuff, we should be okay. Alright, let's do some more simple stuff. Back to circle. I'm going to draw it. We're going to flip these two. Let's just zoom in on it so we can know what the heck's going on. Control C, Control F. With this new one, I'm going to go white with it, by the way. And then we're just going to scale, scale, scale. And that'll be our little highlight. Let's go right there with it. Okay, that looks good. Adorable. Grab it. Now keep in mind, you can totally group it right now. I think that might be a thing. Alt Option. Let's just drag on over. Let's make another one. Alright, let's call it a day. For circle, I am going to go flip these two. Go back to your black. Let's go scissor tool. Just line this up right now. Okay, looks good. Scissor. Snip, snip. Let's go delete. Delete. Now we've got this little guy hanging out over here. Let's go over to our stroke, by the way. Stroke, stroke, stroke. 3 little lines of hanging out over here. And what we are looking for is this nice little cap. And then I do this, and now I have some little noodle shape. So I go Option, Alt Option. Let's drag this guy over. Now I could totally flip it, but for right now I say that should be okay. Alright, looking good. Let's do the mouth. Now the mouth is going to just be circle. I'm just going to just modify this a tiny bit. If you guys want a screaming donut, there you go. That's pretty funny. Alright, that looks good. Let's go line tool. Let's just drag that. Alright, I think we can flip these two. Little Pathfinder. Let's grab it. Let's grab it. That was just holding down shift. Maybe a little, let's just divide it and see what we get. Let's just see what we get. Let's ungroup. As long as I can delete that top, we are good to go. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Alright, again, Shift, Alt, and I'm just looking to see if I can hit the middle of it. Let's flip this. Alright, let's go to 2. Okay. I like that a lot. Same thing, scissors, which is C. Now remember when we do we're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to go snip, snip. We're going to delete that guy. We're going to delete that guy. Keep in mind when we come back and do strokes, it will add on a little bit of distance. So just be aware of that. Actually, I'm not, does not bother me at all. Let's go Alt Option, get that little white arrow, drag it on over. I'm going to go right click, transform, let's reflect. And then let's just drag that on over. Now if you feel like you need to do a little rotate, that is fine. Man, are we going to be just cuteness overload today or what? Holy cow. Alright, I like that, so let's leave that for right now. And then let's do kind of these body shapes. And you guys are going to find out real quick that this is some really, really basic pen tool. So I'm going to flip over to the pen tool right now. Let's just click here. Let's just click here. Let's click here right in the middle. Now, these are some pretty fat lines. So let's just go, alright, let's say 8 is going to be the magic number for pretty much all these lines. Let's just drag that here. I do want a little bit of, so I'm going Shift-C, by the way. Let on go. And then let's just drag that one back. Right there, that looks good. Okay. Let's click right here. Let's click by the ankle, click by the toe, click by the heel, and let's go armpit. Okay, so notice the default is still 8. So I'm going to go Shift-C. Hang on to it, by the way. Hang on to it. Let's give him a butt. Alright, looks good. So notice I'm going to select this. Notice that my stroke is still over here. Notice there's this little option that says corner, and I can basically do the same thing. I want a rounded joint. And so what that's going to do is round out that toe. Now if you like the pointed toe, you can obviously keep it. So if you say, hey, I want this, or if I want this, you can kind of see what that does. Alright, looks good. I'm going to go Shift-C. I'm going to drag out this bottom one. I'm not too concerned with the bottom right now. I just want to double check that. I want a rounded top of the foot. Select it, Shift-C. And this one I just want to come straight on back. Okay, looking good. So if I need to modify any of that, no problem. Let's go pen tool. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go basically right by that ankle. Shift-C. And I just want Shift-C. Basically the bottom of the foot is what I'm looking for. Now I'm going to select this, and let's drop that down so we can see what's going on. I'm going to drop it down to 2. And the reason is this is going to be the part that's dark, the bottom of the foot. So I just want to be able to see top of the foot. I might bring that down to the toe a little bit more. Bam, looking good. Alright, so we're going to go back leg here. Same thing, pen tool. I'm just doing nice straight lines. I'm going to hold Shift right now. Shift. Shift. That's perfectly vertical. And then let's go over here. Shift-C. It's going to go rounded right there. I'm going to pull down. And I want a little donut man knee right there. Okay. I'm going to, this is actually going to go all dark. Right, so this is going to get all filled in. So that's it. That's it. We're done right there. Alright. Back to the pen tool. I am going to come over here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Shift-C. Now, if anytime you drag this, notice I'm still hanging onto the mouse. And so if it doesn't immediately go in the direction that you want, no biggie. Just hang on to it. I'm going to go back up to our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, let's go 6 for that. Little variation never hurt anyone. Now since these still have some rounded corners, which I don't mind, but just be aware that I do want the edge to basically go all the way in. So if you saw any of our other previous tutorials, a lot of times we're going to be trying to hide that in. We'll just get rid of it later. Alright, Shift-C. I'm just going to pull that out. Shift-C, and I just want that to come on back. So that'll be a little bit of a sharper point. Done and done. Let's go 1, 2. Let's go right there with it. Let's get rid of that for right now. That is bothering me. Now once I've done that, I won't be able to grab any of the points, so that'll be the reverse. Alright, let's drag that up. Same thing, I'm trying to hide that rounded edge. And keep in mind, right now, you just notice the defaults, the caps are rounded, so I could totally turn that off if I didn't want it. Now I think, just to make our lives easy, I'm just going to drag it right there. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, go up to 8, and that actually should probably be pretty close to a kind of like a pinky finger hiding out in the shadows. And we'll see how this line is getting covered up. We'll come back and delete that. All right, decisions. Let's just go right there with it. Shift C. Let's just drag that out. Give him a little bit of a shoulder and an elbow. This is 6 over here, I believe, so I want to double check that. I drop that back down to 6. P. Shift C. Let's try and make our lives easy with the hand. I'm just going to go right here with it, and let's stop right there. Let's go Shift C, hang on to it, and just pop that guy out. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to drag out 2. Let's just modify that. Go back to Shift C, and I do want that to be a little bit straighter. So just drag that handle so it just points at the other one. Looking good. That could be nice and straight, no problem. Let's go back to P. Right there. Let's go right there with it. And let's go right there with it. Let's go Shift C. Let's give him a little bit of a thumb. Let's see what we're looking at. All I'm going to do is a straight line. Call it a day. That looks good. All right. Save check. Donut. Save, save, save. We having fun yet? Oh, he's too adorable. All right, so now what we're really going to be doing is 2 different things, just so you can kind of see what's happening. We are going to do the initial. Let me just kind of show you on. Oh, I already hit it. Never mind. What we're going to be doing is basically the colored part of the frosting, and then we are going to be doing a drop shadow. So some of you guys can see that there's one line, and then there's a second line. So we're basically just doing a drop shadow with it, and we'll go from there. So this is what I want to do. I want to take this head shape. I'm going to go Control C, Control F. So we are just making a duplicate. So most of this is going to be pretty similar. And I'm just going to basically just say, drag that up. Yeah, let's just kind of drag that up for right now. And this is basically going to be the shape that we're going to modify off of. And really all I'm looking for is this bottom line, and we're going to add a bunch of other little circles to it. So let's just do this for right now. Let's just flip those 2. Okay, looking good. So what we are going to do is do some drips. Drip, drip, drips. So I'm just going to zoom in over here. Let's come back to our circle. We'll come back and we'll have some fun with the color. Don't you even worry your little head about it. So I've got just a circle, white arrow. Let's just pull that guy up. Now some of you might say, good enough for me, and then call it a day. So that's totally a possibility. So what I want to do is just kind of give us some variation. So there's kind of one. I'm going to go pull this guy over. And what I want to do is, let's go Effect, Warp. I want to just bulge. Let's just see what that does a little bit. Okay. So you can kind of modify these. I'm going to go 0 with this one. I can add a little bit more of a bottom to it. I'm going to say OK. I'm going to say expand. So I'm going to kind of use both of these shapes a little bit, just so they're not all exactly the same. Next, let's take that same bulge shape I'm going to go to Effect, Warp. Let's see what arc does. I'm going to start with a 5%, and more than likely it's going to go on the vertical axis if I am thinking the right thing. And all I'm looking for, so let's say this one right here, I just want that outside to be a little bit more curved. Let's just say 15, just so everyone can follow along at home. Object expand. Okay. I think that's a thing. So let's do this. Alright, decisions. So right now, let's just kind of do this. Let's just say, let's start dragging these over. And let's just kind of put them in place. And the major decision is, I'm going to zoom in on that point just so it's a little bit more rounded. Shift C. So I don't know if maybe you guys could see that at home. So notice how it's separated. So that's where we're getting kind of a funky angle. If I could just go back to Shift C and then pull them out together. I'm looking at the bottom one right now. This will get a little bit more rounded. So if you ever get that, you could redo the point with Shift C. Alright, you can also come back and modify. But what we are looking to do is, if I want some of this to kind of peek through and give more of a drip look, like it's coming off of it, I might come in and modify that a bit. Okay. Let's drag that guy over. Let's drag that guy over. I'm going to reflect, hit OK. So I'm going to shrink this guy up, and then I'm going to pull that guy over, and we're going to do a little tiny one. Looking good. Let's just take that and pull it up. Okay, I think I'm going to do the same thing with that one. I want a little bit of an arc. Let's just pull it the other way. Let's go Object Expand. Okay, guys, we are having some fun. Now, some of these tops, we're gonna pop them back out. Let me just kind of File, Open, Carbs are friends. So some of these you're gonna see. We also have to come back and pop in some of these, the negative shapes, but we're also gonna come back in and give it a little bit more of the lip, just so you can see where we're going with this thing. And what we're playing with is just the negative shape. So as it comes up, we're going to kind of have those drip. Okay. Decisions. Alright, so right now, let's just do this. Let's simplify our lives. Grab. I'm going to go Control C, Control F. Alright, so all I'm basically doing is I just duplicated it, pasted it in front. So let's just color them all. We're going to totally switch this, but let's just say pink for right now. And then let's basically combine them all. Okay. Now what we're going to look for is these two white ones. Arrange, bring to front. Now let's just do them individually for right now. Cut that out. Minus front. Now keep in mind, we still have that duplicate one. right? So we still, that's what that black is. Okay, so let's just zoom in, because this is already bothering me. I want this to basically come on down, and all I'm going to do is take this point, and I want that to basically mirror our little donut hole. Alright, looks good. I'm going to delete that guy, and I want to do the same thing pretty much over here. Is I want to take that point, put it right on our donut hole. Let's just have those two pointing at each other. Now I could come in, we might modify this a bit later. Like we might do Pathfinder and some other things, or that would probably be what I would be coming back and doing. But just so we can kind of keep this, I want this to be a little bit easier for you guys today. I don't want to do too complicated stuff. Alright, I'm getting too picky on you. I don't want to get picky. Alright, he looks like he has hair. Let's do this. I want to copy. Actually, take that back. Let's holy cow. Okay. Black arrow. Edit cut. Let's just paste it on a new layer. Paste in front. Alright, so now that we've got this shape, let's go back. I can basically get rid of this guy, and we're just going to duplicate it out to make our lives way easier. Way easier. So remember we had that, I'm just going to fix this because I see it. Shift C, same thing as what we just said. That was basically a sharp point. So if you ever see sharp points, get rid of it. Okay. That's going to be more work than I wanted for you guys right now, but that's okay. Let's go right there. I actually want that. So notice how it comes through. I just want that to get as even as possible to cover up that black. Alright, good. So I'm going to grab my pink shape. We are going to edit copy, edit paste in back. Actually, just paste it in front for right now. We can just arrange. I want to just send it backward. And let's just color this. Oh, let's just color it purple for right now. And what we're going to look to do is we're looking for those cast shadows of it. Alright, let's go. So I just went left with it. Now I'm going to drop it down a bit. Now some of this is totally going to get cut off. So all I'm really looking for is if I said the front of the face rather than behind the head or on the inside. This is all going to get shaded out anyway. So I'm just kind of looking for those things. Let's just, since I see it, let's just clean it up so you guys don't yell at me. Like that looks pretty ugly. I don't know what you guys are. That looks ugly. Okay. We could always simplify the path later. I'll stop doing dumb stuff. Let's just make your life easy. Alright, let's do this. Let's take our inside shape. Now most of this black, let's just do that for right now. Most of these black areas, I'm going to say dark brown. If you guys like black, keep black. No problem. No problem. You're going to ungroup those. and I want that to go back to white. Alright, I'm going to duplicate this layer out. And some of you guys have already seen when we do this. We're going to duplicate it out. We're going to lock the bottom one. Select all. At this point in time, we are going to expand. Hit OK, hit OK. And now we are going to just come in and go Shift-E. And we're going to do real quick. There's not too many overlap lines today. Was that it? Oh, we got here. I was going to say, holy cow. Making our life easy. Maybe that little corner. Alright, now if I was picky, I might come back and clean up that hand. For the sake of argument, though, let's call it a day. Let's say expand. We are going to come into Pathfinder. We are going to unite. You had to be picky, huh? You had to come back and do black. Okay, go back to brown. Alright, let's see if we can do... I do have a tongue in there, but I'm not going to worry about it for right now. We're not going to worry about it. So what I want to do is come up to Object. We're going to go to Live Paint, Make. I'm going to come over and drop down to our Live Paint bucket, which is K, by the way. And I want my dark brown. So basically, you're just going to fill in the shadows. We're going to fill in that back leg there, bottom of the foot. Okay, now I think his body was white. So white, white. We are going to do like an off brown. And I'm not doing anything very specific with these colors. I'm just kind of going straight off of the palette. You guys are more than welcome to be creative with it. Go have some fun. And there is potential. I lost my eyeballs, so that is, or my highlights of my eyeballs. So we can come back and expand, hit OK. So what we are going to do is I want to ungroup, ungroup. And I just want to see if I can grab it or not. Well, I don't trust it. Ungroup. Alright, so let's grab the... Just so it doesn't do this, I don't care about you. I want to grab all of the dark brown. Let's unite that. Alright, looks good. I don't think we have him anymore, so let's just go back and pop him in. It'll take 3 seconds. No problem. Grab it. Grab another one. Alright. That was easy. That was easy. Okay. Now this is, for the most part, this is going to go to the dark brown. So we're basically going to start chopping that off into different areas. Since notice that some of this just flies right into it, we are not going to worry too much about that. The only thing I want to do, let's just go Shift-E for right now. Now if I was getting picky with you guys, I would totally do Pathfinder. But who gives a rip? No one cares right now. I'm just looking at a few of these little points. I just want to see his eyebrows, so I'm going to pull that guy up. Alright, looks good. Let's go rounded rectangle. Let's just color it blue. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're basically going to do 3 of them. Control C, Control F. Just bring it over here. Now, depending on how picky you guys want to get, you can either just do, like if I come back in and have our highlight color a similar color, I think that would probably look pretty good. Other thing you want to do is Control B, send it back. And I want a little bit of a purple, and this one's going to be pretty transparent. So this will be basically our sprinkles. Sprinkles. And these will be pretty tiny. So right now, all I'm doing is holding down Alt Option. And I'm just kind of spacing them. And I'm not trying to make them perfect, by the way. And yes, the answer is we're going to rotate them. Let's do one more. Let's do another guy over here. Okay. Alright. So, now, more than likely, just so you guys don't do the same thing I just did, it might make your life a little bit easier, is if you group them first, just so you don't have to do this. So if I grouped them first, I wouldn't have had to do this. Just so you guys are aware. Shame. That's what happens when I do this on the fly and I don't do it first. Usually I do this first for you guys. I'm pretty sure you guys could figure it out. Let's scale. Now notice how this, I do want the shadows to all be in the same size, area, things like that. So we'll modify that guy a little bit. Okay, same thing. Highlight, we'll switch that around. And I'm just holding down Shift as I do this, by the way. Let's just zoom in on these last 2. Okay, and while I'm here, if you ever see any weird little dots, points, things like that, you can just come in and get rid of them. Make your life easy. Alright, so first thing, we're just going black arrow. I might just modify some of these, and I'm going to pull out the opacity. And let's just pull opacity down to 50. So for each one of these, as we're coming back through, I'm going to select on that, drop it down to 50. Now I don't want these all to be the exact same. Now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to actually go through the coloring process, just so you guys are aware. Like, you want multicolored sprinkles. All you're really doing is come in. And if you guys want to do white instead, so you just have to come in and say, hey, I want yellow sprinkles for this one. Then you can come in and do that. So, I mean, that could be a pretty easy fix. Like, hey, I want that one to be yellow. Maybe that one will be yellow. And then you can just switch out all of the... can we do it? Let's see. Let's just do it right now. So I just used Magic Wand, grabbed all my highlights, made it white. Let's do maybe some dark purples. What else are you guys thinking? What do they have? Red sprinkles? Do some red. I'm not doing anything fancy with the colors right now. I'm just kind of making this nice and easy for us. Alright, for the purples, I'm going to zoom in. Make sure we're getting our 50% in there. 50%, 50%. If you don't want it to do transparency, by the way, you can just change the color. That would be acceptable. So notice I just want them all kind of going in the same general direction. That guy should be over here. And I could do the same thing with all of the highlights, by the way. Once we're done with switching out the colors. If you say, hey, I want the highlights to have a little bit of the same color, then all you'd have to do is change the opacity down to 50. So if I change this to 50, now it's going to be pink. So that could be a... You ready? Let's do it fast. Pink, they're all white. 50%. Let's just zoom out. So now they are all the exact same color, or a modification of it. Yay, Illustrator. Yay! Making our lives easy. Okay, let's just drop that down. I'm just looking for any ones that I missed right now. $50, $50, $50. All right. Good and good. So right now we have this on the hat. So little things that I would modify, maybe that I would want a little bit rounder. Other little things we might be adding on would be some highlights, some transparent. Let's do that. I think that would be an easy thing to do. So notice that I have my pink color selected. Pink, pink, pink. Let's just zoom in. And all I'm looking to do with our handy dandy little knife tool is I'm going to come in on the bottom here. Bottom of our shapes. And let's come right through here. So things just be aware of is I'm starting on the outside. And then I'm just swooping around. Okay, so I'm going to grab these guys. Nope, not that guy. I want that one. Let's grab that one. Okay, so what I'm basically going to do is the same thing we did with our little pills. So I'm going to go Control-C, paste in front. So all I'm doing is pasting these guys in front. Control-Z. And let's see if we can just do a nice little eyedropper. I think it's going to play out that nicely. So I've got my purple, 50%. I'm not in love with that, to be honest with you guys. Not in love with it. Delete, delete, delete. Okay, so this is what we're going to do with, now I would still do some highlight shapes perhaps. I might do some shadow shapes. You guys can definitely have some fun with that. Let's do this. So what I'm going to do is just grab this layer. I am going to duplicate it. So let's just lock out those two. This bottom layer, what I'm basically looking for is, all this is simple, 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 right? I have a nice rectangle here. Nice, simple little rectangle. let's just grab it and paste it on a new layer so you can see what we're going for. Paste in front. Let's lock that guy out. Let's hide it for right now. Okay, so we have donut. Notice I have a new layer, by the way. New layer, duplicate it, select everything. I'm coming in and I'm doing unite everything. So I'm just dealing with kind of this outside. What I'm going to do is I'm going to basically look for an offset path. Let's just preview. That's pretty close. So notice that it's hanging out there. Hit OK. Let's just get rid of this so you see what's up. Let's get rid of that so you see what's up. Let's unite both of those. Alright, good to go. So now we have background shape, shift, and all we're going to do is minus front. Super easy. Minus front. So we now have our donuts, and then we have kind of that cutout on that background shape. Making our life easy, right? Now you guys can totally change whatever the fonts you want. Totally up to you. So let's go carbs are. Now the fun game begins. What font did I use? No idea, guys. Let's just say Jack Story. Let's see if that's pretty close. Pretty close. I don't know if that's exactly the one, but it's kind of what I'm looking for. Okay, let's do our friends. What do you think? Big bottom? I don't know. That's pretty close. Pretty close, guys. I mean, if I'm just guessing, going off the top of my head, it's the little things in life that make you excited. Alright, let's do this. Black arrow. Shift. I'm just going to go create outlines. As long as that's pretty close to being even, I'm okay with it. Let's grab both of those. Eyedropper. We want those to be pink as well. Carbs are friends. Adorable. Adorable. Let's do this. Let's grab this. Control C, Control B, Control B. Let's go our dark brown. I just want to see if we pop it down a little bit, how that looks. Man, we just had some fun today. We had some fun. File save. So tiny little things as you are saving up, I would just double check if that's nice and even. You might want to make this bottom nice and even. This might round out a little bit more. You could totally use this bottom shape to kind of help you with that. So if this is just me getting picky on you. But other than that, we got an adorable little donut shape. I love it. So things just to do. Things to be aware of. If you guys are liking these, make sure you are saying some nice things to me. I definitely read those and I always appreciate it. Second thing is if you are subscribing, definitely do that so I can keep up, and that just lets me know that you guys are watching it, especially if you are outside of my classroom. And also we do a ton with Adobe Illustrator cartoon tutorials. This school year I'm adding how to draw cartoons, so look for that playlist. I'm also adding on a playlist on how to do whiteboard animation. So I get a lot of freelance work with whiteboard animations, and I'm going to show you guys how to be building those. So especially if you are dealing with Illustrator, you like cartoons, it goes hand in hand. There's programs out there that will basically animate your line work in Illustrator. So I want to show you guys how to do that because it's some nice paying freelance gigs. So I think you guys might appreciate that. So other than that, thanks for hanging out. We just went cuteness overload today, and so I hope you guys appreciate it. I'll see you guys on the next tutorial.